So I've made a video before about some features I feel as though TF2 is missing. So today I wanted to talk about some really good TF2 features that are already in the game. Like I said in a video I made a few days ago, I want to be a little bit more positive about TF2. So today I want to talk about things that basically TF2 has just done right. And if you want to do something right today, click the sub button. Helps a lot. Thank you. Also, speaking of things people have done right, this video is sponsored by quicksell.store. They are an online trading website with a huge inventory of stuff that you can trade for, which is really nice. And sometimes you can even buy stuff in that site for around buy orders, which is quite rare and you don't normally get to do that. There is also a giveaways tab where every single week they give away an unusual, so definitely make sure you check that out. And the site is fully automatic, so you don't have to be trading with actual people, and you can trade at pretty much any time of the day that you would like to. The link will be in the description. Definitely go and check them out. They are a really awesome site. I've used them before in the past. Definitely recommended. Okay, so the first feature that TF2 has done right, and this is a super relevant one given TF2's landscape today: kicking people. Having a feature in the game that allows you to kick people is an absolute must. I know this one sounds a little bit stupid, but imagine TF2 right now if this feature didn't actually exist. It's slowly becoming one of the most used buttons in the game right now, which is kind of crazy, but I am genuinely very glad it exists. This game would 100% absolutely be dead if that button just wasn't there. It's literally one of our only ways of fighting back against these computers joining our games, so this is a very good feature. It's not perfect, there are some things that could be done to it to make it even better, but I didn't say it was perfect, I said it was great still. There's not like a lot you can really say about the kick feature though. Like, you can kick people from the game, people vote on it, and if people agree they should be kicked, they get booted, and if they vote no, then they don't get kicked and get to stay. Simple. If you're watching this video, you probably already knew about this feature anyway, and you knew what it did. I didn't need to explain it. Next on this list, we have the hit sounds plus the damage numbers. Now, I've decided to kind of throw these two together because they are very similar, or they're used in the same space, I guess. But we'll start with the hit sounds for now. Honestly, I absolutely love them, especially when playing things like Soldier or Demoman or anything like that where you might not see who you actually end up hitting, but you know you've got a hit because you hear the sound. There'd be so many times I would hit an enemy and not realize if I didn't have the hit sounds on because I've just looked away to shoot somebody else. So knowing an enemy somewhere is a bit lower is quite a nice feeling. And they don't just have to be the regular hit sound of TF2. You can have custom hit sounds. You can make these literally whatever sound you want. If you want it to be like a wet fart, you can do that. If you want it to be a duck, you can also do that. I'm not sure why the wet fart was the first thing that came to my mind though. But it basically means that everybody's experience with TF2 would end up being a little bit different because every time you hit an enemy, a different sound plays. And I love stuff like that because it means that everybody can have their own TF2 experience that is truly theirs and not something they're really sharing with everybody else. As well as that, the damage numbers are also ridiculously useful to figuring out whether or not you're actually dealing a lot of damage to the enemy or you're not dealing much at all, because there's been a few times where I thought I hit a good shot. Turns out I've only done 6 damage. So if you don't have these damage numbers on, some of your shots and some of what you're looking at could feel very misleading, and you might end up staying in a fight that realistically you should be running away from. There's been a lot of fights that have been saved from knowing just how much health the enemy is on and being able to adjust what you're doing based on that information. And honestly, I can't imagine playing TF2 without this feature on after I turned it on however many years ago it was. And whenever I watch a TF2 like live stream or a video and the person doesn't have damage numbers on, I genuinely get a little bit confused because I'm so used to seeing them there, and I wonder how people could play without them on. They're just that useful. Especially once you've got the batching bit figured out properly, so it actually starts adding all of the damage you do in a certain amount of time up, so you don't have to just keep thinking how much damage you're doing and adding up all like the 35s or like the 60s that you're doing. It just tells you how much you've done. Like I said, I literally could not imagine playing the game without this feature. It is that good. Next up, we have another really cool feature that you can customize pretty heavily: the heads-up display. I'm not sure how many games out there let you completely redesign the entire UI of them, and I think that a lot of other games are missing out on that. Imagine if you could just redesign how everything looks in your favorite video game. There's been some people getting really creative with their hoods, like recreating the Overwatch one for whatever reason. Or you can make them more simple and less cluttery for better competitive play. Or, if you wanted to, you can just make the default one look more aesthetically pleasing. And again, it makes everybody's gameplay experience a lot different, which is really nice. I love games that let it so you can have their own look to the game and not every single person will be looking at exactly the same thing. It adds another element to TF2, which I think would really help. So if you're getting bored of it one day, maybe installing a new HUD won't be the be-all and end-all of the video game, but it might make it feel a little bit more fresh, and you have to like learn where your buttons are again. I don't know. I use Eve HUD right now, and it's probably the favorite HUD I have ever had. So there you go, for everyone asking about it, that's what it's called. There's also a bunch of sites you can go on that tell you what the HUDs are out there, and that you can pick the one that works well for you and that you like the most. And finally, we have the console. Arguably, one of the most important things in the whole video game. The amount of stuff you could do with this thing is absolutely ridiculous. Anything you can do in your settings can also probably be done on here. And not only that, there's so many more things that aren't in your settings that you can do in the console as well. Things like server stuff, other more advanced commands. I don't actually know everything you can do with the console, but yeah, it's a lot. Again though, there's not that many games out there that have stuff like this with as much depth as this thing has. So TF2 was really ahead of its time and actually does have a lot of really cool stuff, which a lot of future games don't have and probably should have. I was going to say CS is probably the only other game I could think of where the console is good, but it's the same company that made it, so of course it's got the console in it still. I worry about myself sometimes, I really do. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you leave this video a like and also subscribe to the channel down below if you're new. It means a lot to me. Also, we're uploading now soon on the Spikey Mikey Plus channel. So if you're not already subscribed to that, make sure you go and click the link in the description. Subscribe to that channel. There's going to be a lot of cool content coming there soon. Anyway, once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all tomorrow with another one. Goodbye.